Alright, this is a voiceover on this trade. So as price traded down into the 15-minute buys and balances and efficiency, I'm getting into that trade. I'm in. Initially, trading view lagged, so I got in with more contracts than I wanted to, and I had to take off some later. So price started displacing in my favor. My stop loss is below the 15-minute buys and imbalances and efficiency from which I'm taking this trade. So this trade idea is based on the narrative that sales off have been engaged on a 15-minute time frame. Smart money has performed short covering, and now they are pairing sell stops with buy orders. And at this time of year, we expect higher prices with seasonal tendencies higher. So I'm anticipating support at the bullish rejection of the consequent encroachment of the weekly discount week. We actually saw price trade to its lower quadrant, and we saw price reject, and this occurring after NQ has engineered those equal lows on the nasdaq and swept them. If you look at the previous videos, you will understand the narrative. So I'm buying below midnight open in a discount. I'm buying after a 1 hour market structure shift, which I've been waiting for the longest, and it finally happened. And I see a bullish displacement just ahead of the open. Trump was speaking at 8:30, and he granted this move with bullish displacement. So the opening bell retraces to 15-minute buys and efficiency and discount of the 5-minute leg up. So as it retraces down into that leg up, you see me buying like an OT in discount. So the draw liquidity is clear. Is the buy side looking for some very swiftly smooth highs. Those highs were so smooth. I wrote on the chart, if you can look at it, you see even a blind man could see that those highs are too clean. So at this point in time, I've taken a partial already. My stops are way deep into profit, and I'm just waiting for that target to hit. It took a great deal of patience. I had to sit and wait. This is the stock index. This is not really the future, so maybe displacement not too much here. Eventually I got my 10 minutes hit, and it's winner chicken dinner. Alright, let's break down the trades. So that trade was off this higher time frame chart. This is before the session. You can see this screenshot was taken at 8:58. So this is more than 30 minutes before the opening bell. Now before the opening bell, I saw bearish displacement on the daily chart from yesterday, and the current candle had taken previous day's low and not yet rejected. So admittedly, I flipped my bias to bearish, and I was looking for this target because it looks so clear on the daily time frame. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, you realize that on the 4-hour chart, these relatively equal lows, you see them clearly on the 1-hour time frame. But on the 4-hour chart, I want you to note that these lows were equal and they were swept. I said if price higher time frame bearishness, if 10 a.m. below, so if 10 a.m. is below this level, if this candle closes and we see the 10 a.m. candle open below this level, I'll be bearish targeting 24,887.75. However, if we see price rejecting these lows, because the liquidity sweep, if it rejects them, and we see 10 o'clock trading above the 25,095 and a quarter, I'll be looking for higher prices to the very clean Asian highs. So I'll drop down to the 1-hour time frame so you can see that clearly. Now on the 1-hour, on the 15-minute time frame rather, we see those relatively equal lows. There was an SMT there previously, and today after London going into the New York session, they are swept. The time now of this screenshot is 9:10. So 20 minutes before the opening bell, I see price begin to reject, and it's moving higher ever so slightly. But I want to see something significant to confirm longs. I want to see such a rally that is going to confirm a market structure shift on the 1-hour time frame. Eventually, that is seen right here. This black line is a market structure shift on the 1-hour chart. So this run up happens just as Trump speaks. Trump speaks at 8:30 right here, and we see as he speaks, price is rallying higher. It rallies going into the opening bell, and it forms this market structure shift. This black line is a market structure shift on the 1 hour time frame. So when market structure shifts, pre-market highs come in here, and immediately we open, we first of all trade down to this 15-minute buy side and balances and efficiency. That is perfect. It's giving me discount prices on the range from the 5-minute leg up low to high. I got discount below equilibrium here. Initially, if you see my commentary, I was saying I'm not pyramiding on this trade, and I'll hold one contract after taking a partial. So the conditions were looking poor at the time of the entry. This looks okay, fairly, but at the open we saw back and forth delivery. It was marking time in the same price point. Eventually we see this move lower, and I looked at this as a trade to the optimal trade entry, but it did not get there. This space it left just before the low of the 15-minute buy side balances and efficiency was signaling bullishness. Price rejected higher, and on seeing this displacement up, I entered on the high of this 15-minute buy side balances and efficiency. So by 9:51 during the macro, I was saying apologies for dollar amounts, because on the execution you can actually see dollar amounts. I just switched to stock index, the indices actually. So I was not really using my template on the futures contracts. Those futures contracts, the template that shows ticks. So that was showing the dollar amount, and that was unfortunate, but it was already in execution. So the macro is ending, and traffic control is going back to the station. So price is likely to go into a holding pattern. Buy side is a draw on liquidity. This at 9:10, just at the end of the macro. I say that because we started seeing some consolidation, and it was just a minor retracement down to the low of this BC, and price rallied up again. So it was a slow grind higher to our objectives at Asian highs, because they were so clean. You can see it in the previous slide. If I just go back, these highs were suspiciously clean. They were too clean to be true, and all we needed was to see a market structure shift, and when we got it on the 1 hour time frame, longs were confirmed. This is the execution that you saw. I got my fill, and at 23 minutes past 10, you saw me trailing stop loss below the BC, the low of the BC, and I was saying if this level is shaded to, I'm out willingly. So I put my stops below here and locked in profits, and price displaced higher right up to my objective. So New York AM highs were good draw, regular trading hour buy side liquidity, and Asian highs for the 10 minutes. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, you can see these highs cleanly. So going into the 8:30 time, that's around here, you see Trump begin to speak, and you see this massive rally up. This high here is a 1 hour high, and it's a 1 hour swing high that gets swept after the sweep on sell side. So liquidity rate has happened down here, and price shifts market structure bullish as it trades above this high, which is London's high. Price retraced lower into this 15-minute buy side and balances and efficiency. It is from here that I get the long setup, and you see me participate in this move up to Asian highs. After my exit, you saw this retracement, and later on an expansion. So retrospectively on the 1 minute time frame, these are the confluencing factors that enable this trade idea to come to fruition. So the narrative is that sell stops have been engaged on 15-minute time frame. We saw those relatively equal lows. So smart money had performed short covering, and now they were pairing sell stops with buy orders at the time of the year where we normally see a seasonal rally. So seasonal tendencies are supporting higher prices, and I was expecting support at the consequent encroachment of that weekly discount week. We actually saw support at the at the lower quadrant of that weekly discount week, and from there we saw a bullish displacement higher. It was confirmed by a 1 hour market structure shift, and I've been anticipating that 1 hour market structure shift right here for the longest of time since the start of the week I've been looking for it. I'll finally get it as Trump spoke. So when Trump finished speaking at 8:30, this had occurred and we saw a retracement to discount where it's exactly what we want to buy. Where we want to buy below midnight opening price, if possible below 8:30 opening price, but it gave us discount at midnight open and there was a PD array there, 15-minute price and balances and efficiency confluencing with an OTE, and boom, we saw this massive beautiful delivery to our buy side targets. Now at the 10:50 to 11:10 time period, this is the reversal macro, and given the name, it reverses. So we see a liquidity sweep during a key time where we expect a reversal. Reversal from what? This is a buy delivery upward, so it is bullish displacement. A reversal from bullish displacement is going to be bearish displacement. We see a market structure shift right here. The market retraced into the chase instead of delivery and it expands lower. So this was a beautiful move. It got and traded down to silver bullet liquidity post 10 a.m. that is this low, beautifully swept, and it moved lower down into the fair value gap we bought initially. Looking at lunch and the PM session, lunch consolidates. We see a massive rally during the silver bullet and trading. That rally traded to buy stops. This is the PM silver bullet I'm talking about. We saw morning highs right here, traded through. This is the second leg up, and buy stops here are taken. Going to the end of that silver bullet, you see a breakout form. Market on close macro has seen this post the objective of the day, the high portion or the upper portion of the new opening gap. Market on close macro tags this level and we retrace, closing at this bullish order block. That closes the day, and that was it for this trading day. Notice that there was an entry here during the macro period. We saw price return to a bias and balances and efficiency during the silver bullet. The whole idea of the silver bullet is a retracement to a fair value gap during a key time in accordance with the narrative after liquidity sweep. Sell stops were engaged right here. BC formed after the 2 p.m. time during the macro. We see retracement into the fair value gap and a massive displacement to buy side and the upper portion of new week opening gap. So that's been it for this review. If you found this insightful, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.